Hi, everyone. So we're going to do October astrology report for the whole month for the collective on what is actually going to happen. I'm seeing a lot of block as far as like the first to the 31st. There's a lot of solidified confirmations that come in for them. So when we go to the Pleiadian deck, I see a lot of like epiphanies. I see a lot of aha moments. I see a lot of when they go about their day, they go, yep, I was listening and I was hearing this, and this is what's true. And you just can't get it out enough, fast enough at at all. So, when I go through, you just all of a sudden with the collective, they're like, what happened? I see that September came in with a rush and it was an upheaval and a topsy-turv of a flip. And then October is a block. It's an absolute block. So with this, the crystalline grids, like, was this aligned in the stars? No, the northern lights changed everything on the trajectory to the energy to the path on where it needed to be. So when you actually talk about star centers, the communication, it is true. It is true, even with sound codecs. Everything was on point. But when you go through the escalation and then you go through the timeline, John, what's realistic? So we go through all the rigmarole and then you go through everything and then you're bound by the delay of paperwork, but you still had to. So really October has a lot of like regenerating. It's a lot of rest. But I do see that the air signs and the earth signs are very pivotal. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We jumped the gun. We jumped the gun. No, no, no. Why? Because realistically, when we're talking about this in light language, is intuitive body language, it opens up the doors. So it is a block of huge changes for everyone. The resting and the dreams that would come through is so absurd. It caused a lot of passion to come in. And they remember this from a lot of things. This is where you need to be a little bit forgiving. Compassion, that's when healthcare has to come in and say, no, really, the golden egg is what is everyone's money maker? What is everyone gifted at where they bring it into their job and they use it appropriately? So that is where light technology comes in. And that is like our own way of scanning out and other people too, scanning out. So they are in a different elevated mindset, a lot of people in October. And then you hit another timeline jump, not to know when. Star royalty, it truly means that something is going on, that you can't believe it in October. Frequency and hertz, I hear a lot of grounding through music. I hear a lot of people doing service to each other. I see changes in appetites because of the energy. I see people being watchful over each other. I see the go about of the looking about. I see people being creative, especially with the holistic cruise. I see people just looking at each other and saying, yep, all I have to do is just look and I just know I heard it. I heard it right in my head appropriately. I see them running numbers appropriately. I see them taking chances on opportunities that they normally wouldn't. I see a lot of grounding. I see people sharing things that they know about that they're finally saying, I can talk about it now on what was real. I see partnerships. I see good contracts also. I see something coming in. When I see mothership, I don't see the Galactic Federation coming in. I do see the North Star a lot. You have to use your imagination a little bit in your daily life throughout October. I do see chain link. I do see chain a lot of things. I do see a hunkering down of a chain. I see the rising up when I see Pascal's tomb. I see a calling upon people who are very aligned. When it comes to universal heart, that is where the compassion is. When it comes to mother and father healing, it means you're probably going to have to forgive some family members on some things. So when it comes to transmission and communication, everything, everything. So when it comes to dolphin play, when they use echolocation and the dolphin play, all of it, they're going to literally go through everything. Lightning boy comes through on the card, and it's someone who is very young, male energy that takes the strike down. So when it happens, what is the earth at glance? So when earth is out of balance and then comes back into balance, and then those energies and properties come through, you're going to see natural disasters happen. Potentially, you could have that snowstorm. You could have another hurricane or tropical storm or a tornado or a cyclone, whatever it happens. And that just has to do with the star energy, the universal orbit, everything, all realigning. That is when cosmic unity comes through. Energy work. You're going to have to readjust your energy almost daily. That's why you got to take it slow all of a sudden. You'll just know when. All of a sudden that day, you're like, no, I'm not doing anything. But I will do something. That's when your vibration is so high. When it happens, you have to like work on your core strength. Something positive realigns for Earth. Now, with the Righto, right? I can't even get my words out at some point in October. And that really upsets me. Upsets me still. And I said, it's an ongoing problem. So, with that being said, it literally means that Earth, the collective, the energies has an offering from the universe. So, when I was talking about the Rosetta Stone, and then I was talking about the documents from the Revolutionary War, from the Civil War, and how it all was set in stone with no play on words. It meant that something would come through. It causes of a look on the news. the tower in reverse. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's what a lot of people picked up on. It's a lot. Everyone sits and says, I got it. I got it. I'm good. There's no need to celebrate just yet. Continue letting it play out. So when the universe and planetary energies and all align, when you have the supermoons and then you have the eclipses, all of those events, it creates a chaotic havoc nescence. And a chaotic havoc nescence means that all you need is 1 to 2 planets and correct alignment, and it goes like that. And then everything changes. Everything changes, and there's nothing that you can do, no matter how it's written, no matter how it plays out in your life, how much you can control. You don't know what it is until it's in your face. So that is where everyone wants to do the halt stop. Don't do that in October. Just let it play out. All the zodiac signs just have to let it play out. And how you play it out is how you do your daily life when you need to rest and recover, when you're not feeling well, when you have bad things come towards you, and how you cope. And that is where the coping mechanisms need to be realigned into something positive. That is where the new journey starts, not to be known in October. There's a lot of imbalance coming into October, and I see on the 31st, it is a put out by a fire. So there is joy in this block up. For some, it is a bit of a torque. I see a catalyst of a wrench that causes this torching. I see that the wheel of luck comes towards man. I see that when it comes to this, the bomb of all bombs comes, but it's not actually nuclear. I don't see how it is like they're talking about Russia and Iran. It is a type of energy bomb. It is hidden, and it could be just a catalyst of a volcano erupting. That's all you need to know. We're a little bit too stuck, I'm hearing out there in mediumship, that it's just so simple by evident proof that's tangible, that sometimes things happen because the wind was eastward, and that things happen because it erupted in Hawaii. And that's all you need to know. Don't overthink it, because what has been said, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred and transmuted. So when it comes towards you, it's like a slap in the face and makes you go a left turn instead of a straight and a right. And that's what causes havoc. And that's why people get upset when we're like, well, it's Mercury retrograde. Mercury does not go into retrograde. Mercury comes beknownst, which puts you in a retrograde, in a setback. So when you have it and you go about your day, your gift, it feels like karma when it comes to you in the middle of the night. And a lot of things happen with energy changes at night, which causes the freeze. And that will come in just all day, every day. You literally solidify every day with your choices on how the earth wants it to play out. So when you actually add in the stars and the moons to the planets, to even just the trees outside, because everything is energy. That is when a lot of wealth tech ulcers come through. And it could be just touching a plant, and you're like, got it. It literally is when you're talking about astrology and zodiac and everything that you talk about when it comes to Althala, which is a state and it's also heritage. It means, what do you do with yourself to make yourself solid again, to continue living, which is Ingwa. So to end with this, because it is a little bit of a heavier reading for October, is the Akashic Tarot. You're going to be a little bit off course at times. You're going to have fated meetings in October, people who you were meant to meet. I see that this growth of these fated meetings are going to be of your own good. And like I said, when the Queen of Roses comes out and the King of Roses, it means that is where you're to be planted and grown. When I see it, when I see the garden, it means it is solid. It keeps giving to you, these fated meetings. The elements rebalance itself in October because you need copper. You need a lot of these things, believe it or not, throughout your body. And that is where the community comes in, like making sure they're resting, they're hydrated, they're eating, they're going to the doctors, they're meeting their goals daily. It is a little bit of an upturn potentially with the intricacies and of the industry, but I don't see much of a crash. I really don't. I see diversity come through in a positive way. I see a descent, an absolute descent, somewhat imbalanced, which is okay. But there's no initiation to this. There's no initiation whatsoever. There's no sign or dotted line. And that is when this card, the Archangel Gabriel, comes in and says, you can go get your sword and wait. And you're like, but I can't, because I don't have the badge or the licensure or the certificates. And that's all you need to know. And that will be ending October, because it will all of a sudden be like this whirlwind. And then you get back to reality. And you're like, I can't do this. I just don't have the credentials. So I'll just talk to you later, ending it now. And we will talk to you soon. Have a good day.